What consumes your mind controls your life. What you think you become. As you know, brain is the CPU of our body. Every aspect of our life is controlled by brain, whether it's our movements, breathing, senses, heartbeat. Mind is a product of the brain activity. It is the manifestation of thoughts, emotions, beliefs, attitude, perception, imagination, determination, which takes place within the brain. We can take the responsibility for our own brains by transforming our minds. It's been observed most of the time people do not pay attention to what they are doing. They are not able to sustain attention. They are not focused. There might be many reasons behind that. The mind is always wandering. As you know, a wandering and a restless mind is an unhappy mind. There might be cognitive, psychological reasons, anxiety, depression, medication, sleep disorders, and many more other reasons. One of the major reasons for a fish-like attention today is due to the hyperactive content which we consume and too much of commotion. We witness more data, more TV shows, more video games, more cars, and instant gratification of technology today. A new wealth of information has created a poverty of attention. Humans are not able to prioritize and recognize. They are not able to give importance to exactly what they want in life. Their minds are always wandering. They have become so restless, so confused. Either they lack focus or they focus on wrong things. It's been observed that ADHD is also increasing in children nowadays. Apart from heredity and genetics being the major causes of ADHD occurrence, there are some social factors which are contributing to the rise in ADHD in children. A fast-paced, stressed out, consumer-driven lifestyle is one of the major factors in the increasing of ADHD in children. They have become more aggressive, more fidgety, not able to sustain attention or focus on their activities. They observe their parents rushing from one work to another. They are doing multitasking. They have enrolled their children to several classes, but instead these multi-activities for which children have been enrolled, instead of becoming a pleasurable experience for them, it's becoming a matter of disgust for them. They have started hating those activities, and in turn consumption of junk food has also added to the increase of ADHD in children. So if parents, they want to rectify the problem, they have to give time to the children. They have to spend time with the children. Show them warmth. Make them indulge in some creative activities which and also some activities which require patience and reflection, like cooking, gardening, music, some board games, some mentally stimulating games, which the children will really find interest. And if the parents are a part of those activities, the children would surely like it. Our brains are always changing through the forces around us. Our brains are constantly changing by factors around us, both willingly and unwillingly. So we have to ensure that our brains remain healthy, since it makes our mind clear and active, and we are able to work efficiently and rest. Brain plays a crucial role in our ability to think, reason, to live well, to act well. When we are positive, or positive thoughts are generated in our mind, and when we are optimistic, there are certain chemicals which increase in the brain, which are called happy chemicals, whether it is serotonin or dopamine, which helps us to become more calm, more creative, more attentive. More efficient and more focused in life, which widens our span of attention, whereas the negative thoughts would slow down the brain function and cognition. There would be decrease in creativity, less focus. It will also cause a hindrance in our ability to think, reason, form memories, and also damage our immune system. Every thought causes neurochemical changes in the brain, some temporary and some lasting. For example, if we practice gratitude, dopamine increases and we have a feeling of well-being. What flows through your mind also sculpts the brain. The connection between neurons gets stronger if we develop healthy mental habits, having a positive outlook of life. We can take control of our conscious mind, and in this way, changing our behavior and perspective helps us to increase our brain cells and have a positive outlook towards everything in life. As you know, there is an intricate connection between psychological well-being and physical health. It affects both mind and brain. Well-being doesn't mean absence of illness only. It is a complex combination of mental, physical, social, emotional factors. How much content you are with your life, and positive emotions and self-acceptance in life contribute to the well-being of a person, and in turn it increases the ability of coping up with problems in life and bounce back in life even after coming across hurdles or failures in life. Psychological well-being means how emotionally balanced you are. What sort of relationship do you share with people? Are you happy with your relationships? Are you positive in life? A feeling of purpose or a meaning in life? Are you content with your life? This is all about psychological well-being. Now, there are certain psychosomatic diseases which take place due to your poor mental health. If you are depressed or stressed out, you'll have some unexplained headaches, stomachache, insomnia, restlessness, and so on and on. So it's imperative that you take care of your mental health. Be positive in life. Think about good things in life. Think about good things which has happened with you, and be grateful for whatever you have in your life. This is all about the connection between psychological well-being and physical health. Now, the 4 pillars of a healthy mind are, first of all, mindfulness. What is mindfulness? It is aware of being present at the moment. You are aware of where you are and what are you doing. As you are more aware of what exactly are you doing, you tend to increase your focus, your performance, your creativity. Let different type of thoughts come into your mind, whether pleasant or unpleasant. Just being aware of all our thoughts, not taking them as right or wrong, just taking them as they are, accepting them, not judging them. Just be aware of what exactly you want and what are you doing at the moment. Let the thoughts be present. Let some pleasant, unpleasant thoughts come into your mind. Don't get distracted, because these thoughts are temporary and they will leave. Now, mindfulness is also looking at the mind moment by moment. It helps you look into your habits, your bodily sensations, your tendencies, your conditioning of your mind. You just have to observe your thoughts, and they'll just pass off easily. You don't have to react, but be present at the moment. Whatever you are doing, remain focused. Don't get distracted. Mindfulness also entails the mind, to observe the mind, how the operating systems of the mind are working. Remember, if you do what you have done, you will get what you have got. So be alert of the operating systems in your mind. Sharpen your mind with good thoughts. Positive thoughts. Be content in your life. It is through language that we are thinking, we human beings are thinking. So don't just try to put your thoughts away just because the mind is more biased towards thinking negative. Don't just try to escape from those thoughts. They'll come and leave. So, mindfulness means awareness. If you are aware of the present moment, your thoughts, your emotions, your reactions, you will take it very strongly. In fact, you'll be able to change your mindset more towards the positive side. If you practice meditation, gratitude, you'll be able to realize where exactly the mind revolves. It's only a matter of time that will help you in focusing or sustaining attention on activities you take up and in changing your life. So, at times, mindfulness becomes difficult for people to be aware of the present moment or to be aware of the thoughts coming our way. We tend to become very inattentive, or we try to evade those thoughts. But let the thoughts come into your mind. See, we cannot instruct our mind what not to think. Mind is sure to think both positive and negative. So we have to accept it. We have to react very calmly. And in this way we can change our attitude towards life. Now, half of the population is negative or they are pessimistic towards life. It is all because they are just evading. They are just trying to evade the situations. They are not trying to rectify, or they are not trying to alter their lifestyle or alter their life by changing their thoughts. If there is a mental chatter in the mind that I am sad, I won't be able to do this, this is not within my reach. So if you keep on thinking negative, so you would program your brain cells in the same manner, and the body would respond, your behavior would respond in that manner. And you'll never be able to come out of that. So if you want to alter your life, your lifestyle, you have to change your mindset. We hear about many diseases which the doctors say, or people say it is in our genes, in our genes, the whole family has got this disease, so it is in our genes. It is not only about genes. Genes, 30% may contribute, 70% is the mind which helps you to emerge out of that, emerge as a winner if you really are able to control your mind and control your thoughts and think positively. Even the biggest hurdles in life can be overpowered if your mind thinks positively in a positive direction. If you accept good things in life, if you accept good thoughts in life, your life would surely change for the better. The second point, the second factor for a healthy mind is the interpersonal relationship. What sort of relationship do we share with our loved ones? For that, you have to develop certain skills, certain factors in life which would increase in your interpersonal interaction and relationship with people. That is empathy, being empathetic towards people, listening to their problems, being caring, compassionate, being kind, being grateful for whatever you have got in life, and being assertive, expressing yourself. It's not wrong to express yourself, to help people in distress, to practice meditation, to practice gratitude. These are some of the skills which will really change your life, friends. If you start practicing these skills, if you try to develop skills, these interpersonal skills in life, that is sure to make your life better and better every day. We become very selfish at times. We just think about ourselves. We think life is only about, living for ourselves. We have nothing to do with people around us. Please change your mindset. Try to be more giving. As you start giving, Almighty would start rewarding you with peace of mind and tranquility. Now the third factor is insight. What is insight? Insight is clarity or understanding about your beliefs which you have just created in your mind about yourself or about the environment, your self-belief. If you really want to improve in life, make a positive self-belief rather than negative self-belief. Talk to yourself. Self-talking is really a cure for many of the mental diseases. Self-talking, talk to yourself. Listen to the thoughts, listen to the chatter which is happening in your mind. Try to change it. Change it. Try to bring good thoughts in your mind. From negative self-belief, try to create a positive self-belief that is going to be a major factor in your well-being. If you accept yourself, if you have belief in yourself, if you feel you are unique, God has created you to do something worthwhile in life, not just to get depressed and look only towards the negative side of life. Be thankful for all the good things happening in your life. Be content with your life. Or try to change your thoughts if you feel low at times. Try to divert your attention towards healthy activities. In this way, you can foster your well-being. Last but not the least, the most important factor is having a purpose and meaning in life. Taking up activities which you love the most. Live well. Making a difference in the life of others. Remember, a candle doesn't lose anything by lighting another candle. What sort of legacy do you want to hand over to the next generation? A legacy of honesty and integrity would surely make a huge difference in the young generation to come. Follow your passion. Live by your values. Live your life well. The purpose of life doesn't mean a long-term career. It might be Every day you can just take up small activities. Every day you have to just carve what exactly do you want to do. How do you want to just lead your life or fulfill or making your life fulfilling and fruitful by helping others or by taking up some social work or helping people in distress or contributing towards the well-being of the people in general. So friends, it's all up to you to decide what exactly you want out of this life. Either you want to lead a fruitful life or you just want to live a life which is just wasted, accumulating wealth and doing nothing for the humanity. It is all up to you to decide. So friends, these are the most important factors in creating a healthy mind. Just try to keep in your mind. The first factor is the mindfulness factor, or the being aware of the moment which you are living at present. Don't make yourself restless by making your mind wander from one direction to another. Be aware of what you are doing. Be focused on the activities you take up, on the task you take up. Do it with interest. Only then you'll find pleasure in your activities. The second is the interpersonal skills or connections which you make with people you love or you are in connection with. The third is the insight or clarity or understanding of your own emotions, thoughts, reactions. And last but not the least, it is the purpose and meaning in life which will make your life worthwhile and fruitful. Thank you, friends.